In a quiet little village nestled at the edge of a whispering forest, there lived a humble woodcutter and his basket of sticks. But these were no ordinary sticks. They were special. Each stick had its own little voice, its own dreams, and its own way of seeing the world. There were fat sticks, thin sticks, curly ones, and even one with a little bend that always made the others giggle. They lived together in the big basket, snuggled side by side, enjoying the warm sunlight in the day and the cool moonlight at night. Life was peaceful until the day the trouble began. One morning, a very straight stick woke up with a thought. Why should I stay in this bundle? I'm strong enough on my own. And just like that, the stick rolled out of the basket. The others gasped in their own silent, stick-like way. But soon, another stick whispered to herself, maybe I don't need the others either. Then another, and another. And before long, many of the sticks had wandered away from the basket, each trying to prove how strong and independent they were. They rolled across the grass, sat near rocks, or leaned proudly against trees. At first, it was fun. They felt free and brave. But deep in the forest, something was watching. A mischievous wind, sly and sneaky, lived behind the tallest trees. It had been waiting for a moment just like this. You see, the wind loved to test strength, and it hated when things stood united. With a whoosh and a whistle, the wind swirled through the forest. The first lonely stick wobbled and snap. It broke in two. Then came the next, crack, and the next, snap. One by one, the scattered sticks were no match for the wild wind. They were brave, yes, but alone, they were weak. Not all the sticks had left the basket. Some had stayed behind, unsure of the others' boldness. They listened to the howls of the wind and the cracking of branches. And suddenly they felt very small. But they also felt safe, because they were together. The wind noticed them next. It rushed toward the basket, determined to break them too. It pushed, it twisted, it tried every trick it knew, but the sticks wouldn't budge. Together they were firm. Together they were strong. No matter how hard the wind tried, it couldn't break them. The wind huffed and puffed, but nothing happened. The bundle stood still, like a brave soldier guarding the forest. At last, the wind gave up. It drifted away, defeated. When the storm passed, the sticks in the basket looked around. They didn't cheer or shout, they just felt grateful. They had survived because they stayed together. And slowly, from across the fields and near the trees, the broken pieces of the other sticks began to return, carried gently by the breeze or hopping along the grass. They had learned a hard lesson. Some were cracked, some had changed, but all had learned that strength doesn't come from standing alone. It comes from standing together. And from that day on, no stick ever left the bundle again. They stayed in the basket side by side through wind, rain, and sunshine, because they had learned the most important lesson of all. Even the smallest stick, when united with others, can stand against the fiercest wind. So, dear little one, whenever you feel unsure, just remember, union is strength.